Arkansas, all sports. It's more sports.
All right, what's up, everybody? I'm Wes Moore. Glad you're with us. It's the instant reaction to Arkansas's victory over UCA, 93-56, your final score. Let's react to it. Let's talk about it. Send me your comments. You can hit me up on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I'll read some of your messages, and we'll talk about this game. Big second half. That's what this game was. First half was very ho-hum, not very exciting. I didn't think Arkansas got after them defensively. I was a little surprised after what we saw against Michigan State and what we have heard about practice the last couple of days, how intense it's been, how they've been getting after each other. And I fully expected Arkansas to come out and just lock down UCA in the first half. And that's not what happened. First half, 43-34. Arkansas had a 9-point lead. It wasn't like they were in jeopardy or anything. But defensively, I just didn't see the same team that we've been seeing through the exhibition season and the first two games of the regular season. We saw that in the second half. First half, UCA had 34 points. Arkansas was turning the ball over a little bit too much. Rebounding was another issue. UCA was able to get a bunch of long rebounds from those three-point shots that they took, and a lot of three-point shots from UCA tonight, and honestly from Arkansas. Well, I will say there are times when I think Arkansas is playing one-on-one ball or jacking up the three. Tonight, UCA really focused on packing the paint, trying to keep Arkansas out of the paint, trying to keep Arkansas from dunking the ball. And they did that until really towards the end of the game when things started getting out of hand, and Arkansas had several dunks at the end of the game. But you could see UCA's game plan. They were playing off of Arkansas. They didn't want them to drive to the basket and finish at the basket or dish for a dunk. So they were giving up the three-point shot, almost daring Arkansas to take the three-point shot, and they did. And Arkansas ended up taking 34 threes tonight. Typically, you don't want to see that. But you know what? Arkansas made 13 of those 34 three-pointers, 38%. That's a good shooting percentage. You'll take that. Other side of the ball, UCA took 41 three-pointers. That's what they do. That's their style. It's layups or threes. And they took 41 threes tonight and made just 4. 4 of 41. That is 9.8%. And in the second half, UCA 0 for 18. You know what? It's early, but Arkansas's got to be one of the best teams in the country at defending the three after Michigan State went 1 of 14 and UCA goes 4 of 41. Now, granted, there were some open looks, and I'm not saying Arkansas's three-point defense is awesome, but maybe they've been the beneficiary. I know for sure against Michigan State because they missed some open threes. But tonight, I think the athleticism, the length affected UCA's threes, their three-point attempts, and 4 for 41. But back to it, first half, Arkansas just – and maybe it's the crowd, and I hate seeing that. And we talk a lot about it on the Buzz. It's a sold-out Bud Walton Arena, but people aren't using their tickets. And when there's nobody in the stands, it just creates an atmosphere of blah. And you think about it, and I hate to be making excuses for the team. You just played at Michigan State, a fantastic environment on Saturday night. Their student section right there on the court. That's what you live to play for in front of, whether it's at home or on the road. And then you come back home, and it's just kind of blah. And they played that way in the first half. I don't know what was said in the second at halftime, but in the second half, Arkansas came out and played much better. You could see it on the defensive end. They got after UCA, did not have a lot of good open looks, and the Bears only managed 22 points in the second half. And Arkansas goes on to win 93-56. I know some people were watching very closely in the second half, looking at that point spread. Arkansas covers. I think Billy Richmond's three was huge at the end of the game if you were looking at that point spread. But Arkansas with the 93-56 win beats that point spread. I think it was at 35, maybe 35 and a half at one point today. I don't know what it was at tip-off, what the final line was. But Arkansas gets that part done. A couple things I wrote down. Second half, Acuff really got them going. That provided the team a spark. He came out in the second half, hit 3 straight threes for Arkansas. It was a 11-2 run to start the second half. I think, or maybe a 13-2 run. I think Knox had a couple of free throws, had an inside basket, and Acuff hit 3 threes in a row. And you look up, and that lead that was 9 had swollen to almost 20 points just that quickly in the second half. Acuff, once again, played really well. Much better shooting night for him. He was 9 of 16. We can take a look at some of the final scores. You can see the ticker brought to you by Corky's at the bottom of the screen with some of the final stats. But we can also, I'll share you the final box score and take a look at some of the totals for Arkansas and for UCA. All right, there we go. Make sure you can see that clearly. Thomas, 6 of 17 from field. Another poor shooting night for Malik Thomas, 4 of 13 from the three-point line. He did, even though he shoots, he does a lot of other things, even when he's not shooting the ball well. 6 rebounds, 6 assists tonight, no turnovers for Malik Thomas. So 17 total points. Acuff, very efficient, 9 of 16, 3 of 8 from the three-point line. So he made those 3 in a row and was 0 for 5 the rest of the night. He had 6 rebounds and 4 assists. So your 2 freshman guards combined for 10 assists and 12 rebounds. I think we'll take that. Welcome to the program, Carter Knox. It was nice for him to get his first points of the season after not playing in the first game and going scoreless against Michigan State. He came out and had, what did he end up, 14 points in the first half, 14 points, 7 rebounds. I think that's a career high in rebounds and points for Carter Knox, 19 points, 10 rebounds. He also had an assist, a couple of turnovers, needs to avoid that. But Arkansas did a better job in the second half. You see that right here, 8 total turnovers, just 2 in the second half. That's one of the things that I tweeted out at the half. UCA took a lot more shots than Arkansas in the first half because Arkansas's turnovers and offensive rebounds. And UCA hanging around at 9 points, down 9 at the half. Arkansas in the second half takes care of the turnovers. I think they did a much better job of rebounding in the second half. We'll take a look at those numbers here in a minute. 49 total rebounds compared to 35, but it was the offensive rebounds for you. That was keeping them in there. DJ Wagner, 7 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Nick Pringle, 9. Love Nick Pringle's game is good. He's going to help Arkansas in the SEC. The way he gets trash points, offensive rebounds, finished with, I'll have to go pull up another page, but I know Nick Pringle had several offensive rebounds tonight. He led the team, or no, he was second on the team with 8 rebounds. Malik Ewan off the bench had 10 points, 5 rebounds. So good production from those two. Billy Richmond came in, hit the late 3. He had a very quiet night, 4 rebounds for him. And Isaiah Seeley getting some playing time because no Trevin Brazil tonight. We hadn't really talked about it, but Seeley off the bench had 6 rebounds and scored 6 points. Not the official word, Trevin Brazil, back spasms. You believe that? Or do you think there's something to it? Maybe the towel incident, and that was a quiet suspension. Whatever. I didn't play tonight, and this is a game where they did not need him. But this is a game Trevin Brazil would have flourished in because of the lack of size and girth for UCA. Brazil tonight would have been a double-double. Absolutely guarantee you. In fact, today on the Buzz, I was thinking Brazil would have a big bounce-back game. This is his type of game where you don't have those guys that's real physical inside, pushing on you, getting you off balance, hit a gun inside the paint, and been able to get his rebounds and some putbacks, some dunks, and Brazil would have had a big game tonight. But anyway, he sits. No action from Trevin Brazil, and hopefully the back spasms don't lead to any other problems down the road, and he'll be just fine. UCA do want to mention them because they're one of our teams. Cameron Hunter, I'm a big fan of his. I've always been a big fan of his. Bryant High School, his first trip at UCA. Now he's back at UCA, and he had 16 points, missed all of his threes. He's a better three-point shooter than that. And Cam will hit some of those, but looked like he belonged on the court, didn't he? I'm a big Cam Hunter fan. 4 rebounds also for the Bears. You also had Ty Robinson out of Hot Springs, 15 points. I know they're glad to get him back and healthy this year. Those were the 2 best players for UCA on the court. And Luke Moore out of Little Rock Central, got to mention him. Good to see him in action. and he had 7 points. Talking with Justin Acree, who's the radio guy for the UCA Bears, he said that they've been very pleased with what Luke Moore has been able to give them so far. But that was your leading scores for the UCA Bears. Let me go to the home stats real quick. Look at individuals for UCA and check out the offensive rebounds. Carter Knox 3, and I was wrong. Nick Pringle only had 1 offensive rebound. I thought he had more than that. Arkansas needed to have more offensive rebounds. Let's be honest about it. They should have pounded the glass. Although their shooting percentage isn't terrible, we won a whole lot of missed shots, but only 8 offensive rebounds. Excuse me, they need to do better than that. But you had no Trevin Brazil. Let me look at the offensive rebounds for UCA. First half, 10 total, 4 in the second half. So, yeah, Arkansas did it better than the glass in the second half. Some of the key stats in the game for the team. I'll go to the split box and look here. Shooting percentage, woeful for UCA. That's Arkansas's length right there in athleticism, 10% from the three-point line. Turnovers, dead even. Arkansas needs to do a better job of forcing some turnovers, but you know what? I'll give UCA credit. They ran their offense, that Princeton offense, and they run it to perfection. Did not make the shots, but they didn't turn the ball over, which limited the points off turnovers for Arkansas, usually much better than 9. But when UCA didn't turn it over, that kept them in the game for a long time. Second chance points, there you go, 16-10. Cannot happen. Honestly, just should not happen against UCA, but that's those long rebounds, and a lot of that's just hustle, getting after the ball. Points in the paint, very close, a little surprising, but that's because Arkansas took so many threes tonight, and UCA packed the paint and did not want them to get in there and get a bunch of dunks, get a bunch of layups. How many dunks did they end up with? Let's go to our home stats. Let's see, turnovers. There it is, 6 of 6. So 6 dunks tonight, 9 of 12 of layups. So UCA did a very effective job of keeping Arkansas from getting to it and getting a bunch of easy points. All right, that's enough of that. Let me stop that, come back to you. At the half, Arkansas, I wrote down, was shooting 48% from the field, UCA 31%. UCA was shooting 17% from the three-point line, which was much better than the second half of 0%, but it was second chance points. It was 9-5, had 8 points off turnovers. That kept Arkansas from building a bigger first half lead. Easy, something easy for Coach Calipari to get after them. I'm sure he did at the half. Second half turned out to be a lot better. Carter Knox, the story in the first half. Darius Acuff, the story in the second half. It was great to see Carter Knox after his struggles at Michigan State to come out, knock down some threes. And his game is so effective. I mean, should have mentioned this earlier, but Carter Knox, 19 points. How many times do you think he shot the ball? 8. 8 shots, 19 points. Just for comparison, Malik Thomas, 17 points, 17 shots. Carter Knox, a very efficient night, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. He gets to the free throw line 5 times, made all 5. So very big game for Carter Knox, a confidence-building game for him, much needed for him. Now you need to get Brazil back, maybe Friday night against Samford, get a little confidence, shake off the Michigan State results, and have him playing at his best. Let's go take a couple of y'all's questions or comments. Roger says, hey, Wes, it was a good game. They got more practice to get ready for SEC January 2026. There's no doubt about it, Roger. It's not a finished product, and it's not. And really, it's not about January. It's about March with this team and hopefully April about this team. But these 2 freshmen will continue to get better. I did see, and part of it's just being at home tonight instead of being on the road. You know, they were rattled a little bit and off of their game on the road, that road environment against Michigan State. And instead of just focusing, running their offense and getting their teammates involved, too many times those freshmen tried to take matters into their own hand and made bad plays or took ill-advised shots. Now you're back at your home court. You feel a little bit more relaxed. You're playing an inferior opponent, and the freshmen play better, but they're not there yet. That's the great thing about this Arkansas schedule. You got 4 home games. You got to take advantage of these bye games over the next 2 weeks. And it's, yeah, you want to see it on the court during the games, but the best part is being home for 2 weeks and more practice time, more time to watch the tape of the UCA game, see what they did right, see what they did wrong. That Coach Cal and this staff can work on those freshmen, and they're still kind of working on the rotation. I love seeing Pringle and Malik Ewan playing together tonight. We haven't seen a lot of that. You're going to need that in SEC ball because you're going to have bigger teams similar to Michigan State that you're going to need some size. Because I'm not convinced yet that Arkansas is a good rebounding team. This is 2 games in a row, and it even happened some in the exhibition where I felt like the opponents were getting too many offensive rebounds, and Arkansas is too tall for that. They got to be a little bit tougher and go up and get those defensive rebounds. Malik Ewan's really good at offensive rebounds, but need to get him getting defensive rebounds. Can't just depend on Pringle and the guards. That's the one advantage Arkansas has with like a Carter Knox, a Billy Richmond, a DJ Wagner, even bigger guards, stronger guards that can go up and get the ball. All right, more comments. Let's go to Luigi. St. Luigi, good show. Thank you for watching, St. Luigi. I appreciate it. And everybody watching, go to YouTube, subscribe to the More Sports channel. That way you'll know when I have a new video. Basically Monday through Friday, I've got a new video. Sometimes on Saturday, a post-game show. Sometimes 2 shows. Maybe Friday night. I'm thinking about that. Got a Razorback post-game show. Turn around and do a high school football playoff show. You know what? This allows me to do whatever I want to do. If I want to do 2 shows, we'll do 2 shows. But if you're go ahead and subscribe on YouTube, you'll see when I have a new show, and you'll be able to check it out. Let's go. One more. Roger, come on, friends. Tap the like button and subscribers. Hey, you're doing my job, Roger. I appreciate it. Thank you for putting the word out, and let's keep growing the channel. Let's see here. Other notes. Oh, your starters tonight. Malik Thomas, Darius Acuff, DJ Wagner. So you go with the 3-guard lineup. Nick Pringle is the big guy, and Carter Knox, the 4. You can do that against UCA. Not a big team. Go with basically 4 guards or 3 guards, and Carter Knox, small forward, power forward, play power forward in this game. Just a second. Excuse me. And with no Trevin Brazil. So that's the change up in your lineup. But I do I'll say this, I like Carter Knox in the starting lineup. Malik Thomas, 50-50. I kind of like Malik Thomas coming off of the bench and being that first guy off the bench, instant offense. You need a shooter, somebody that can fill it up. And we know Malik Thomas is a shooter. So I kind of liked it earlier when we were seeing Billy Richmond and Malik Thomas coming in off of the bench. I thought that was a good 1-2 punch. Billy Richmond providing the energy, the effort off of the bench. And then, of course, Malik Thomas with the scoring off of the bench. But not with a full roster tonight with no Trevin Brazil. So that was your starting lineup, and they got off to a good start. Quick 12-3. And I'll tell you this, too. Sometimes when you get off to a quick start like that, 12-3, and they know they're playing UCA. They know they're supposed to win this game big. There's a tendency just to, all right, relax. And I thought this was going to be easy, and sure enough, it is. We're already up 9, and the team kind of relaxes a little bit, loses some intensity. The effort goes down, and I think that's a little bit of what we saw after that quick start. You see it in all sports, not just basketball. Sometimes you see it in football. A team drives down and scores, gets a stop, scores again. It's 14-0. You're like, it's going to be a cakewalk today. And all of a sudden, the effort and the intensity drops a little bit. Other team scores. They're back in the game. It changes everything. All right, Roger. What's up, Roger? This is only Coach Calipari's second season building the team, but I heard he's forming a super team next season. Well, they got a pretty super team this year, Roger. I thought it was pretty impressive what he was able to build this offseason. One more. I thought I was subbed up, but I'm set now. Thanks, St. Luigi. More notes for you. Carter Knox. Oh, out of their first 22 points, Carter Knox in that hot start had 11 of their first 22 points. He also had 6 rebounds and assists and a block early in the game. You want to talk about getting off to a hot start. Carter Knox was and kudos to him. Because, we talked about it. Joe Klein and I talked about it. Of course, Bill Ingram was with me Saturday night. And here's a guy in Carter Knox, has his name in the NBA draft, goes to the combine. He's hearing his name. He's going up in value, second round pick, high second, maybe first round pick, and then ultimately decides to come back to Arkansas. And you got all this pressure. You know, and it's not just from your classmates, your friends, your family. It's just even inner pressure. It's just like, all right, I came back to increase my stock to be a first round pick next year. I got to go play ball. And you missed the first game. And then you come out and lay an egg in the second game. And I thought against Michigan State, he was just trying too hard, forcing things, not letting the game come to him. And it had to be a hard week for him. And he comes out after a weekend of practice, and to light it up like that to start the game, it says a lot about Carter Knox. And man, I was really happy for him, because that can you hear about it in baseball, in college baseball. I've heard Dave Van Horn talk about it a lot. That junior season can be that can be very tough on players, because that's their money year. That's the year that they're eligible for the draft. And a lot of them put a lot more pressure on themselves to perform, to be a first round pick, high pick. And baseball's hard enough as it is. And basketball is the same way. You put that added pressure on yourself, because now this is, even though it's his sophomore year, it's technically his money year. It's a lot of pressure that he's hearing, feeling, and putting on himself. And so if he comes out, another slow start, another bad game, then all of a sudden it just starts snowballing, and it's like sophomore slump. So I think this was a huge game for Carter Knox. Now he can just relax, play ball, and let it come to him. And that's what he did tonight. Let it come to him. Got some wide open threes. He knocked them down, and he responded. So, man, kudos to Carter Knox. That was big for the team to get him into the game. And they can't have Carter Knox going scoreless in a big game like Michigan State or an SEC game or some of the other big games they have coming up. Y'all continue to send in your comments. I'll read some more of those here in a few minutes. Let me tell you about Gwatney Buick GMC. Very proud to have them on board as a sponsor for this show. Big thanks to them. They make this possible. If you're thinking about buying a new car, please check out Gwatney Buick GMC. Go to their website, GwatneyBuickGMC.com, or head up to North Little Rock. Go take a visit there, look around, tell them that you saw and heard about them on More Sports. Let them know that they're getting the love here on More Sports, and they're supporting us, and I want you to support them. And look, Black Friday's right around the corner, but you do not have to wait for the Black Friday blowout at Gwatney Buick GMC. They're stretching it out all month long. So you don't have to wait until the Friday after Thanksgiving. Right now, you can get a new Sierra 1500 up to 20% off MSRP. The 2026 Terrains are just $279 a month. The 2026 Buick Encore GX is $199 a month. And don't forget about the hottest crossover out there, the 2025 Invista Preferred. That is just $179 a month. No chaos, no drama, no fighting on Black Friday. You can do it right now at Gwatney Buick GMC. It's in Jacksonville. The address, in case you don't have the internet and can't Google it, is 5700 Landers Road there in North Little Rock. Gwatney Buick GMC. Big fans of the show and big friends of ours. So go support them. Let's see here before we finish it up. Any other notes that I really wanted to hit on? Arkansas, we talked about their first half turnovers, straighten that out. Pretty good second half. I mean, that's it. First half, I summed it up. It was kind of blah. I was sitting there watching it, and I don't want to say I was bored, but I was disappointed. I really thought we were going to see what we saw in the second half and then in the first half. And then you could say, well, they got a big lead and they just relaxed in the second half and it kind of got out of hand. But the first half came out and just didn't play the way I expected them to play. Something happened at halftime and they came out and had a huge second half. I mean, that's all you can say. You can be down on them for the first half, but it's a 2-half game, 40-minute game. And when you outscore a team 50-22, you did your job. Yeah, it would have been nice to do that in the first half also. But to outscore a team 50-22 and to hold UCA in the second half, their shooting percentage 7 of 28. That's 25% from the field. And they had a couple layups. Remember the Luke Moore had a steal in the layup? 0 of 18 from the three-point line. Arkansas played some defense, got after them in the second half. did what they were supposed to do. So I'll give them a, what do y'all say? A minus, B plus, B plus. It was a great second half. First half, blah. I'll give them B plus. Cover the spread. Beat them by 37 points. Is that what the final was? 56-9. Yeah, beat them by 37. I mean, that's hard to do. I mean, you see some of these lines in college basketball, and teams are giving up 30-plus points. It's hard to beat a team by 30 points. But Arkansas did it. They won by 37. Big second half. Yeah, I'm good with the B plus. And now I think they'll get a day off tomorrow. We were talking to Coach Z today on Out of Bounds, and he said normally you would get a Sunday off after a Saturday game, especially on the road. But Coach Cal got them back on Sunday, and they practiced Sunday night and got after it. And had a little practice yesterday, game today. I bet they get tomorrow off, then start getting ready for Samford on Thursday, and they'll play on Friday against Samford. So that's kind of their schedule for the rest of the week. Our schedule for the rest of the week. Tomorrow's going to be fun. We're going to catch up with Dusty Hannas. Dusty is still playing ball over in overseas in Israel. He is going to record an interview with us tomorrow. We'll play that for you tomorrow night. I am trying to, yes, it is confirmed. We will have our More Sports High School Football Player of the Week on tomorrow night. You'll have to watch to find out who that was, but had some great candidates, some outstanding performances in Week 10. On Thursday night, Thomas Thrash from Hooten's Arkansas Football will join me. We'll break down Week 1 of the playoffs and make some predictions. And Thursday, I have just gone blank. I've already set it up. I've got an interview set up for Thursday morning with a former Razorback. I'm going to be so mad. It's going to hit me after the show, and I'm going to be like, duh, you knew that. I cannot remember. I have just gone totally blank, and I'm going to be so mad here in a minute when I'm think that. Anyway, that's a tease, right? It's somebody good. It's somebody worth watching on Thursday night. Oh, finally hit me. It's not a former Razorback. We're going to talk with Chris Turnage, NFL agent. I'm going to get the very latest from him about some of the football guys getting talked about NFL scouts, where some of these guys like a Taylor Green, Mike Washington, Fernando Carmona, where they could get drafted. But also we're going to talk about the coaching search with Chris Turnage because as an agent for coaches, college coaches, he hears a lot of things. And there's a lot of talk about this job. And there's a lot of interest in this job. And we're going to find out just how much interest is in how attractive is this Arkansas job. So Chris Turnage will join us Thursday night. Sorry, Chris. I can't believe I forgot. And then Thomas Thrash Friday night, Razorback basketball and high school football playoff edition. So it's a busy week. Hope you can join us. We'll be back here tomorrow night, probably around 6:30-ish. And we'll hear from Dusty Hannas. It's going to be a fun show, and our high school football player of the week. Thanks for joining us tonight. Razorbacks win 96-93, 56 your final score. They win by 37 over UCA. We'll see you back here tomorrow night for more sports.
All Arkansas, all sports. It's more sports.